is the big one.
Okay.
Rates. Rates. Always so tough because, at least for myself, whenever I was even in school, trying to get work, trying just to make ends meet so I didn't have to fucking work at a Steak and Shake the next week.
Yeah, I've done the name badge thing.
Yeah, dude, like I gotta tell you,
it teaches you humility though.
Yes.
It does, yeah.
Before we get into the topic, I want to tell this story because it's changed my life. I remember when me and my wife Katie, which you'll know from the channel, she's pretty great. We wanted to get into work together, and we had this really, really romantic idea of what we wanted to do, and it's about sticking to your guns. A lot of this is about, holding your ground. And we got this equipment, we got this client, and he had this clothing line. Spent a ton of money on this clothing line, had really promising, potential, and I was blown away by it. At the same time, we were hurting for money, and we were debating, hey man, either we stick firm, we get this guy to pay us. He wants us to work for exposure, wants to know if we can work with him. And I'm like, bro, it's either that, get paid by him, or I have to go work at Steak and Shake again. And I remember going into that Steak and Shake. Not downing anyone that works at Steak and Shake. If that's what you do,
we've all done it.
If that's what you want to do, bro, do it. But that's not what I want.
And we've all done it though. So
yes,
that's the thing. We've all done those jobs.
Flip burgers, no downing that.
No.
But whenever I went to go turn in my application, the guy was like, "Oh, we can hire you. You ready to start right now?" And it was actually the day we were supposed to start shooting, right? And I called my guy and I was like, if you don't pony up the half of what we talked about, I'm not gonna film, And it was that conversation. We got that check. I did not have to turn in that application for Steak and Shake, and it was just because of confidence. That's all. That's all it was.
Believing in yourself.
That's it. That's it. And now it won't always work that way.
No, but you know what? But then you don't want to do business with those people anyway.
And that's
my
fine.
point.
Yes.
That's my point.
Yes.
Then those are people you don't want to screw with anyway.
You don't need them.
You don't need them.
That's right.
Okay, because here's the deal. At the end of the day, if you didn't do stuff for him, he'd have to go out and pay somebody to do it. That's the bullshit thing about this.
It's insane.
It's insulting.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But you got to people are going to jerk you around.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to build that inner confidence and that perseverance, to believe in yourself and your work.
Always.
Now, everybody can always improve. We're all in that train.
Of course.
Right? And always get better and always learn more. And you want to be around really smart people to learn more stuff and how to do things just a little better and this and POV and all these other things that you guys do so phenomenally well, right? But at the end of the day, you're right. It's about self-confidence, not cockiness. There's a difference between cockiness and pride,
totally,
which can train wreck you.
Yes.
Pride and greed are the two great equalizers I found in life, right? If you're too prideful and too greedy, there's an old adage on Wall Street, my old buddy at Goldman used to tell me, he said, the bears make money, the bulls make money, and pigs make
nothing.
Zero.
Nothing.
Right? So there's a happy medium somewhere.
Always.
But especially when you're younger, you just can't, you can't. These guys that got to the place where they're going to Cannes and getting awards and doing all the guys that I've worked with over the years, I mean, they have a bit of swagger to them.
Of course.
Not dickishness.
No.
But just that, I believe I can really enhance your brand because of what I bring to the table.
Right.
Type of thing.
Is that confidence?
Not a douchey thing,
no.
But just a
what you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what you can do. You can see potential not only in yourself but in whatever project you're working on.
And hopefully your reel reflects that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing. If your reel reflects that, then
you're good. Get out of here, man. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's get into topic number 4. Sorry, guys, I don't want to tell that story.
Well,
Inspire some of you guys.
The rates, though.
That's the last topic.
Oh, it is the last.
So this is it right here. All right, let me see. My bad.
This is going to be basic econ 101.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I've started selling myself to some freelance websites, very common, and have already done a few jobs over the past year. That's great. Yeah. I still get a bit nervous about my rates when a client asks. I've gotten responses that are both positive and negative. How do I price myself accurately? Should I stay on the low side since I'm still in school? Hell no. Hell no. You already have work.
If you got work and you're doing work, here's the thing. Otherwise, it's Econ 101.
Yeah.
Right? What you have to do is we used to, funny, back in the day, if we wanted to do competitive research, we'd call up with a fake name and say, I'm doing research for my MBA at Columbia. I need to talk to somebody. And you talk to somebody and you get all their, then, this is great. Yeah, we'll love to talk to you. We'll give you all this stuff.
Oh, of
that's
course.
great. And so you get competitive research, what they're
Right.
charging for account guys, what they're charging. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't work today, but at the end of the day, you can figure out what you need to do. It's like I said, basic econ 101. Figure out what you do and try to find a persona of people that are like you. It kind of you're not going to find people exactly like you because all creatives are different, like snowflakes, right?
Sure.
But at the end of the day, find a bucket of people basically, and not just 2 or 3, maybe 10 to 20 of people, and then price them out. And then what I would do is I'd find what that rate is.
There's an average.
Blend that rate.
Yeah.
And then plunk yourself somewhere right in the middle.
Always safer that way.
Always safer that way.
You make
right?
money. You don't kill yourself for nothing.
Right. You make money. You're paying your bills. You're still making your margins, but you're not pricing yourself out of the marketplace.
Yeah.
And if you do that, here's the beauty of this. You do that, it's gonna. It's like you and I always talk about. Let's get in the freaking door first.
Yeah.
Let's do a project and earn our chops and earn the respect of the client first before we go asking for $1 million.
Right.
Let's do that. Once we do that, and I'm telling you from experience, I've done it my whole career. You get your foot in the door, you work your butt off, you build trust and respect with the client. They trust you. They know you're not going to screw them over, and then the business just keeps coming in. Boom.
If it's a good client,
If it's a good client,
they respect you,
Absolutely.
totally. And if, like you mentioned, if they're not a good client, you're gonna know immediately.
right? And
Get
you
the
don't
hell
want 'em
out of
anyway.
there.
Right, and you don't want them anyway. If that's the case, because I'll tell you what, the aggravation is not worth the money.
Not at all.
It's not worth the money.
Not at all, man. And to that point, I remember having to do a couple of gigs, and it's okay to work with your client, and as long as you're getting something. One time I had to do a gig with a client that I've already worked with, and they had a potential side client. Right? It was I don't want to say the name of the company, but
Don't do
the
that.
project ended
Legal-
up right. The project ended up being pretty cool, a lot of potential. They didn't have much of a budget, but I wanted to get something. I wasn't going to do it for free.
No.
So what ended up happening is I worked for equipment. They wanted to have the specific shot, right? The client, the side client.
And you needed a specific piece of equipment.
And I
to get the shot.
needed, I needed a jib.
Yeah.
I needed a new jib, a new motorized head, a new monitor.
So not a bamboo pole and a
No. Some really quality
a real
stuff.
jib. Yeah, no, I get it.
Right, some really quality stuff.
Yeah.
So instead of renting, I agreed to. I own that jib. I'll go out and I'll buy it. I'll get compensated for it, and basically I'm working for this equipment. And that alone not only helped me out with that gig, it helped me out with quite a few others. Because man, I got to tell you, sometimes equipment talks. It
Look,
does.
Look, right? When you're in business,
Yeah.
right? You how do you make money? You generate additional revenue. You cut your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So by taking on that equipment, that's a capital expense. That's money that you're not laying out. So
Right.
in essence, it's a good thing,
Yeah.
right? Because it's equipment you would have needed anyway.
Right.
So it would have been under capital expense in your business,
Mm-hmm.
right? You would have had to write checks or debits or whatever, however you pay for it,
Yeah.
to B&H or wherever you go, and so now you're not paying that out. So it's a good thing as long as you get something
Right.
that fills your need,
Right.
whether it's money or whether it's equipment in this case, right?
Right.
It's okay.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's always good to be flexible. That's one thing that I've noticed as well is, sometimes with a new client, they can see your work, they really dig it, and, they're a little anxious, and depending on what kind of potential you see with that client, whether it's future gigs or whether this one gig is like, wow, man, I can really get creative. It can be a really big selling point. Not only are you getting this project, which you're going to get if you pay attention and make sure you have your rights protected, you'll also get equipment that, again, helped me out a ton with a few other gigs.
Right.
And just
So
helped
that
out a ton.
equipment generated revenue.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So,
Immediately.
right. So
immediately.
That's, right. As long as you're either cutting expenses or generating revenue, then you'll be fine.
Right.
Or keeping your expenses under control and growing revenue, you'll be fine. It's
Right.
when your expenses are blowing up and your revenue is going down the shitter.
Right.
That's when you're in trouble.
And that's right. And we're in the
And
age.
it's really not even your revenue; it's your margins.
Right.
Really, in the business, it's your margins.
For
right?
sure,
That's
for
the
sure.
key.
And we live in an age where, we're socially talking to everyone so much online. If something happens where, it's a gig where you get equipment, take a picture of it, show it off. I mean, I can't tell you how many clients I work with still that pay attention to what I'm putting up. It's like, oh, look at that, look at that.
A cautionary note.
Yeah,
A business cautionary note.
sure.
you got to be careful with that
Yeah.
because when tax time rolls around, that's taxable income according to the IRS.
Okay.
So if you're putting pictures up online and you don't claim it on your LLC,
Oh yeah,
no,
which you should be
I'm
doing.
Just saying, I'm just saying. No, I'm just
Sure,
saying.
sure.
That's because you say, hey.
No,
because
yeah.
I've had friends who have been train wrecked because the IRS comes in and goes, well, that's $20,000 worth of equipment. You owe us $4,000, huh?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Because it's still they consider that even though you're trading basically, it's considered income. So
And
you
it's
just
still
have to
taxable.
And
yeah.
we'll get into the whole LLC and business thing in another.
Bro.
That's a whole other.
Stay tuned to episode 2.
That's episode 2. How to protect yourself, right?
Yes.
But that's a whole other thing. One last thing though in closing, and I think there's an overarching theme to this to me, and especially when you're dealing with clients, it's all about managing. Don't be afraid to manage expectations and set boundaries up front. That to me, you and I have had that discussion when we're doing pre-production, right? We're working the last project we worked on. It's about setting expectations. There's going to be some wiggle room because they're clients. It happens, right? But not going from you get 2 edits in post to 10. That's what I'm talking about. And if it's in writing and they sign off on it, which is why years ago, Y&R started me years ago on here's the creative brief, here's the production brief. Fill this out, get the client to sign off on it. And every time there's a change, you have the client sign off on the revision. So that if there's ever a question, you go, this is what you guys agreed to. I love you, but this is what we're agreed to. This is what you're paying me for.
Right.
So you have some documentation. It's CYA. Cover your ass and set expectations. Do not be afraid to set expectations up front. Because here's another thing too. You're going to flush out Weasley clients by setting expectations up front.
Damn quick.
You're going to flush them out of the shrubs. And you're going to see them crawling on their belly to get out of there.
That's right.
Because if they have any intention to just using you and abusing you, you're going to find out, and you'd rather find out up front before you cut the deal.
Oh man, you don't want to be working with a client in the middle of production, and not only are they asking for things that weren't talked about before.
Outside the scope of work, and no.
It's going to happen in every aspect: pre-production, production, post-production. Post-production is going to kill you the worst.
And this is the side of the business that creatives loathe. I know that, and that's the DNA thing again. But a little pre-work up front, and because you've done it, saves a whole hell of a lot of headache and hassle on the back end.
And the project is going to be better for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the big thing is like if you can just take care of those headaches from the get-go, even though it's not fancy, it's not flashy, it's not sexy.
Right.
To take care of those things up front. Man, I tell you what is sexy, that final edit.
Yeah, right?
It's
and
really
by the way, after you get paid, realizing that you didn't go blow over your estimate by 100 hours.
Right. You actually made some money.
You made money. Yeah, that's sexy to me. You're going to do these projects. You're going to actually do the project, get paid, and that's one of the difference between revenue and margins again, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure you maintain margin integrity. Because if you don't maintain margin integrity, you're not. It's an old story. A buddy of mine used to work at Gillette, and he used to handle Walmart. And I used to tell him, "Why do you guys?" He said, "Oh, we lose like a $2 a razor we sell at Walmart." And I said to him, "John, why do you guys continue to sell if you're losing $2 a razor? Because we can't lose the market share." I get that, but that's freaking Gillette. They can afford to like Chili's can afford to cut their menus items, by 30% to put Joe's Pizza out of business,
right?
Because they have 2,000 freaking locations. Gillette's making $1 zillion. Other places
they can afford.
They can afford to take the margin hit.
Yeah.
You can't. Most businesses can't afford to take that margin.
Not at all.
Not for market share. You're not Omnicom. You're not IPG. You're not WPP. Right? They can afford to do a dumb thing like Sears. And work as 200 hours a week for nothing.
Right.
Or take on a stupid account, like a lottery account, for example, that we used to call in the cellar because they wipe you out. Just physically, mentally wipe the creatives out, everybody out, and they don't pay a squat.
Yeah.
They can afford to do that for the corporate perception that, we've got this business.
Right.
You guys, we can't do that.
Not at all.
When you're running your own business, you cannot do that. So set the do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Because like I said, if you set the expectations and someone balks at them, run.
Please do.
Run.
You'll
Because
be happier for it. It's not worth the headache.
It's not worth it because that is one of the big red flags right away. Boom. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, I'm not, I don't know. Maybe. No. This is the plan.
Yeah.
And this is where we're going. And if you like it, great. We'll work together. Let's collaborate and grow together.
Always.
All right, sorry. I get all crazy.
I love it. I love it.
Off the
And
rails.
yeah, and we hope you loved it too. This was episode 1. Please follow and subscribe if you dug it. Leave us a comment if you didn't. We want to get better.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we have a Patreon page. It's in the description below. Please be sure to follow that. I mean, we're trying to make this show a bigger, better show.
Interactive too, man. Questions.
Yes.
Tweet us your questions.
Yes.
However you get us your questions, we want to help. We're here to help. We're here to pay it forward.
That's right.
All right.
And if you help us on our Patreon page, you'll get exclusive content, exclusive one-on-one chats with each of us if we ever get to that point, which hopefully we will.
Yeah,
I think we will.
Days. And if we don't, it's still fun doing this and sharing with you guys.
Yes, and please share it because it's all about learning. It's all about making sure you can protect yourself because creating something, that's the fun part. What we're talking about isn't the sexy part, but it's the fucking smart part.
Right.
You know, you gotta protect yourself. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe again. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Got all that in the description below. Thank you guys. We love you.
Thank you guys. Ciao.
Cut it. Hell yeah.